Hi, my name is Kelsey Baker. I am a teacher, an outdoor ed teacher at Mesquite High School. This is Kia Collins. She's also a teacher at Mesquite High School. We're going to be doing Dutch oven cooking today. So we're going to walk you through how to start, all the prep, the food prep, tell you exactly how you want to train your kids. You're in for a great show. So we have 3 different areas today. The main area that our kids are going to be working in is your prep area, your food prep area. So we have street tacos for our fajitas today. We have our peaches and our cake for our peach cobbler, and then we have chicken in here. Then we have where our charcoal is going to be started. We want to separate that from our food prep area just because you have heat and fire, so you want your charcoal to be separated. And then we actually have where our Dutch ovens are going to be cooking. You want that closer to your charcoal so you don't have a lot of mobility problems. So all of the equipment we need. So we have 3 chimneys. So our chimneys are what we will start the charcoal in. We have lid lifters. We'll explain what the lid lifters are for. We have tongs. Tongs are for us to pick up the charcoal, put it on the Dutch oven. And then we also have gloves. Gloves will be a great tool. Everything is extremely hot. We don't want to burn ourselves. So let me show you how we'll use our lid lifters. Kia is going to show us the different lid lifters. So our first lid lifter, all you have to do is squeeze, pull it up. Works perfectly. Ding. Easy. Got our second lid lifter. Okay, so I prefer this lid lifter.
That one's much easier to use.
All you have to do is squeeze, and also you have a more firm grip. Okay, so Kia is going to lift the lid off of this one. Okay, so in this Dutch oven, we're going to be cooking peach cobbler. Okay, so we want to line the Dutch oven with foil. That's just for sticking purposes. We don't want the peach cobbler to stick on the Dutch oven, and it also makes it a lot easier to clean the Dutch oven when you have foil in here. If we were to just cook on the Dutch oven, things would stick, flour, all of those things would stick. It would be much harder. If you notice, we have this concrete underneath the Dutch oven. The reason we want to do this is you don't want to cook directly on the concrete. So last night it rained. The moisture in the ground, the charcoal will cause that moisture in the ground to explode. So that will completely ruin the concrete. So we want to cook on a block like this. We'll have our coals on this block, sit our Dutch oven on top, and it protects the ground, and it also gives the Dutch oven direct heat. On this one, we're going to be cooking biscuits. So we have a pan in here. We're going to sit the biscuits on top of the pan. That's going to cause the biscuits to not be as brown on the bottom. It's going to cause the biscuits to cook better, and it's also easier to clean up as well. So one thing with Dutch ovens is the easier the cleanup, the better the Dutch oven will be. It'll protect the Dutch ovens. Okay, so as you see, we have 3 different chimneys. Okay, so I'm gonna detail 3 different ways you can get the fire started. So the first way you can get the fire started is simply putting lighter fluid on charcoal. You can put the lighter fluid on the charcoal, light the charcoal, it'll get the fire going immediately. Now, we have some people that are worried about chemicals in their body, so they can use paper. So we have newspaper. All you would have to do is ball up newspaper, put it under the bottom. They have these holes right here, so you can light the newspaper. One other way, also chemicals, less chemicals. You can use paper towel, put some vegetable oil, coconut oil, flax oil, olive oil on paper towel, put it under there, it lights and it burns a lot longer. That can also get the fire going as well. Okay, so one way we want to light charcoal is using lighter fluid. This is the quickest way to get charcoal going. You're going to put the charcoal on the lighter fluid. We'll use a lighter to light it, but the most important thing with lighter fluid and using lighter fluid is the safety aspect of it. You want to make sure this lighter fluid is not around children when you're not around. So once you're done lighting the charcoal with the lighter fluid, you need to get it out of reach of children, out of sight of children, to where only the teacher knows where it's at. So I'm going to give this to Kia, and she's going to put the lighter fluid in the back of the truck so no kids know where the lighter fluid is. Then we're going to pick up some of these coals. Okay, it's very important not to put your foot underneath here too. This is hot, ashes are coming off. You want to make sure you have this away from your body, okay? All we want to do is sprinkle these coals in here, okay, about half of the charcoal, okay? Then we're going to get our bag of charcoal. We're just gonna put these new coals on top of them. Okay, when we do that, give it some time, it'll get going really, really quickly, and it'll be great. The kids can see how the charcoal is lighting one another, and it's a great way to get the charcoal going. First, we're going to start off by making some dinner crescent rolls. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to get a little bit of paper towel. Okay, we're going to get some of this Crisco on this paper towel. Okay, then we're going to go over to the Dutch oven. Make sure you close your Crisco. You don't want flies or anything to get in it. Okay, so you're going to close it. Kid's going to get our lid lifter. Okay. Our Dutch oven is already a little warm, so again, it's very, very important. Once you have charcoal on the bottom or the top, you use your lid lifter every single time. So she's going to use our lid lifter. Okay. Now we're going to put Crisco on top of this pan for our crescent rolls. Okay, what we're going to do, and why we're doing this, is we don't want those crescent rolls to stick to the pan. So we also don't want them to get dark and brown at the bottom. Kids don't like to eat things that are slightly burned or slightly brown. So we really want to grease this up well. Okay, grease this up just like that. Okay, another thing, I'm going to grab this and I'm going to show you these coals. Okay, we have to spread these coals out. So what we're going to do is get these tongs. We're going to spread the coals out in a circular pattern. Okay, and then we're going to sit this Dutch oven on top of it. Okay, we're going to sit it on top of it, so that way this Dutch oven is heating evenly.
Tell us about it. I'm good.
So Ken's going to open the crescent rolls. Okay, one thing that's very important is that we have gloves on. We have to have great hygiene when we're doing this. We don't want anybody to get sick. We don't want anything to get infected. So she's going to take the crescent rolls out. She's going to pull it apart. These rolls have gotten a little warm, so they're a little sticky.
There we go.
Okay, these are our kids' favorite parts. So you actually can roll the crescent roll up. This gives the kids some creativity. You know, everybody's crescent roll is not going to look the same, but hopefully everybody's crescent roll will taste the same. So they love, you know, the creativity part of it, making different shapes with the crescent rolls. Also, if you really wanted to get creative, you can put little weenies in there, make pig in a blanket, different things like that. Crescent rolls have great flexibility. You can do a lot of different things with them. Okay, so she's finished rolling the crescent rolls. As you can see, these crescent rolls don't look the same. No crescent roll is the same. It's like stars. They don't look the same, but once we put them on there, I promise they'll taste the same. They're all gonna be crispy, golden brown. Oh my gosh, melt in your mouth. We put that Crisco on there. It's gonna be great. So let's go over to the Dutch oven, okay? So she's going to hold the crescent rolls. I have the lid lifter. I'm gonna allow her to place them on there. Now it's very important to tell the kids, you don't wanna touch the side of the Dutch oven. It's going to be hot. Okay, so once we put these on there, I'm gonna spread them out on there. Hopefully we can get them all on there. Yes, game of Tetris. Okay, now the important thing, we're gonna close this back up, okay? And so in order for the Dutch oven to act like an oven, we need charcoal on the bottom and we need charcoal on the top. So when you have charcoal on the bottom and top, the Dutch oven acts like an oven. If we just had it on the bottom, it's going to boil, it's going to saute, it's going to grill the food. But once we put it on the bottom and the top, it's gonna bake it like an oven. So crescent rolls we want to bake like an oven, so we're gonna go get charcoal. Okay, now the important thing about this charcoal, we have 4 different things of charcoal going. Now, this one is not ready. This charcoal is not ready. We want it to be a little bit more white, get some heat going. This charcoal we could use. The third charcoal we would not want to use. We still need it to get a little hotter, but this last charcoal is gonna be the best looking charcoal to use. So we're gonna pick this up again. It's very important. When you pick up the charcoal, you don't want to put your foot underneath it. You want to shake the ashes off of it, okay? Because you don't want the ashes to get on you. So we're going to take this over here. And we're just going to sprinkle these on the Dutch oven, okay? Now, we're going to use our tongs. Kid's going to use our tongs, okay? And she's going to spread out the charcoal around the Dutch oven. Okay, and so here's a very, very important key. There's two different types of Dutch ovens. Okay, there's an indoor Dutch oven and a camping Dutch oven. The difference is this camping Dutch oven has this lip around it. If we didn't have that lip, this charcoal wouldn't be able to stay on top. So when you're going out and purchasing Dutch ovens, or your district's purchasing them, you want to make sure you're getting the camp Dutch oven, because you're not allowed to put the charcoal on top with the indoor Dutch oven, because it's supposed to go in the oven. So now we're going to prep. While this is, we're going to come back to that in 10-15 minutes, check on our crescent rolls. So now we're going to prep our peach cobbler. It's very important to get multiple things going at one time, okay? So this oven is not hot. It hadn't had any contact with charcoal. That's the most important thing. So we're gonna move this to the table. We're gonna prep our peach cobbler on the table. Okay. So we have Deluxe Moist Yellow Cake Mix. We have our sliced peaches, okay? We have 2 things of sliced peaches. We have our butter, and then we have cinnamon, okay? So we're gonna make peach cobbler today. So the first thing we're gonna do, and I'm gonna have Kia step right here next to me and open our peaches, okay? So one thing that's very, very, very important about our peaches, oh, y'all tricked me. Okay, you don't want all the juice in there. If you have all... So we're gonna use the second chimney, because the charcoal is the most ready. She's gonna shake the ashes off, okay? Make sure she's good. Okay, then she's gonna walk over here. We don't wanna run with our charcoal, okay? We don't wanna run. So she's gonna walk over, spread them out on top. Since we've been social distancing with COVID, this is how we need to think of it. As she's pouring charcoal, we need to social distance. We need to at least give her 6 feet. The ashes can still fly, so social distancing has been a thing since before COVID. So you wanna social distance away from the grill. She's gonna get her tongs. Remember, we wanna spread this stuff out. Now here's a very important part. If she has to stack these coals, what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab the chimney, and if she were to have to stack them because they're on top of each other, all she would do is pick up a coal, put it right back in there, okay? We wanna make sure it's evenly spread out. If they're stacked on top of each other, just go ahead and put it back in there. So it's very important to understand when you're cooking. A lot of times people just get a feel. I've been doing this for a couple years, and I've just been able to get a feel on how things work. So coals, a lot of people want to do 7 to 9 coals on the bottom. 7 to 9 coals on the bottom, but on the top, it's just a feel on how you feel. But I was taught that if you can put your hand a foot above here and keep it for 10 seconds, it's 350 degrees, okay? If you can't keep it for 10 seconds, it's a lot hotter than that. If it's not hot at all, then it's less than that. So 10 seconds, a foot above, 350 degrees. Okay, we've shown you how to stack your Dutch ovens, but now, remember, I said we want 7 to 9 coals on the bottom, but when we stack this one didn't have 7 to 9 coals. It probably had between 12 to 15 coals. So now we have to move it. So first we're going to get some charcoal, and I'm gonna get the charcoal. We're gonna get some charcoal, okay? We're gonna put it over here. Okay, we're just gonna set it down right here, okay? I'm gonna get the tongs. And again, I'm gonna put it in a circular motion, or circular pattern, okay? Circular pattern, spread it out. There we go, boom. Okay, now Kia is going to pick up the Dutch oven, and she's gonna set it right down on top. Perfect. And now we have peach cobbler cooking right here. We put the peach cobbler on. We have our crescent rolls cooking right there. Okay, you ready? So she's gonna pick the lid up. It smells like our crescent rolls are, oh my gosh, they're perfect.
Oh, beautiful.
Okay, so what we're gonna do,
amazing.
we're gonna use a clean set of tongs, not the tongs that we've been moving the charcoal with. We're gonna use a clean set of tongs. We're gonna pick them up. You see how it doesn't stick, and you see how this bottom is beautiful. It's not too dark. The top is a little golden brown. We're gonna put them in there. Right back on top. We're gonna set this down on the table. We're actually gonna set it in this pan. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna use a plate. So a lot of times at schools you don't have cutting boards, so you're just gonna use a plate. It's also really good because you're using a knife. We're gonna go ahead and use 2 plates, just in case we cut through. So I prefer to cut up my chicken before I put it in the Dutch oven because I feel like it cooks quicker, okay, and it cooks more evenly when you do that. So we have some cut up chicken in here, but now we have a full chicken breast. Okay, now what's very important, I've touched this chicken breast. Once I am done with this chicken breast, I need to change gloves. We don't want to cross-contaminate. So if I use this on the chicken breast for whatever reason or to dip something out, I don't need to go use this spoon on the peach cobbler or anything else. Okay, we don't want to cross-contaminate. Raw meat has things on it that we don't want on any of our other food. So right now we're just going to cut up the chicken. Okay, a lot of kids want to put their whole hand and cut like that. We need people not to get cut. So you want to use your nubs. Okay, you want to nub it, and we're just going to cut the chicken. You want to have a good sharp knife. Now there's a lot of times that when I do this, I let my seniors cut. Okay, I don't have a lot of freshmen in my class, but if I do, I let my upperclassmen cut because they seem to have a little bit more maturity when it comes to cutting and safety wise. So we're just going to cut this chicken breast up. We're going to use our nubs. Okay. I'm going to keep cutting. Cut, 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 cut. Okay, so when I'm handing the knife to somebody, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be loose with the knife, okay? I don't want to hand it blade first. So what I want to do is I have the bottom half of the knife in my hand, and then I hand her the bottom half. She allows me to let go. Now she has it. Okay, again, we don't want nubs. We don't want to cut any fingers off. We don't want to cut any fingers off. She's cutting that up. We don't want any fingers to get cut.
Ah! I'm just sweating.
Oh, God.
There you go.
We'll edit that out. Okay, so she's going to start with garlic salt. Okay, we're just going to sprinkle it all over everything. Okay, now it's very important that it's very, very important that you have great wrist motion. Okay, you don't want to just dump it on like that. We want to evenly spread the garlic salt all out. Okay, now she's going to always put the top back on there. Don't leave the seasoning open. Okay, then she's going to do our seasoning salt. Our seasoning salt is going to give it the most flavor. Oh wow, she did great. That was great.
Yeah.
And now we have pepper. Again, if you do too much pepper, and this is very important on pepper, there's two sides of pepper. If she were to open this side, it's gonna just dump pepper in. There's a big hole, it's just gonna dump pepper and it's gonna dump it in one spot, somebody's mouth's gonna burn. So we wanna use this side with the little holes. Oh yeah. You see how her wrist action on that seasoning is awesome. Okay, and then we're going to get the tongs again. Then we're just going to move this stuff around. Make sure the seasoning is on everything. Move all of this around, okay? Our chicken's already cooking. Look at that. Look at this. Our chicken's already cooking. It's great. We're getting some sauteed veggies. Awesome. And while we put that olive oil in the bottom, none of this is going to stick. So we're really protecting it. Now, did you hear that scrape? When you use metal tongs or when you use metal silverware, you're scraping the bottom. So a lot of times we use plastic so that we don't damage the Dutch oven, okay? Metal is great, it absorbs the heat better, but we don't want to scratch the Dutch oven. So a lot of times you might want to use plastic tongs. But if you can't see, this looks great. This chicken's already cooking. Oh my gosh, it looks great. So, while we were doing everything, our peach cobbler is over here cooking, and look at it. Oh my gosh, it's browning perfectly on top. Oh my gosh, everything's cooking on.
Bubbling.
Oh my god, yes. So we got great peach cobbler going right now. We're gonna give it a couple more minutes, let it finish. I didn't see it. Now we got our chicken over here cooking. It's all great. So, now that we're done cooking, we've put some water in here, we cleaned everything out, put some water in there, and now she's gonna scrape the bottom to get all the, leftover residue, all the leftover food out. She's gonna scrape the sides, get some of that out. Okay, and then we're gonna grab a glove. Gonna grab a glove, okay? Gonna pick this up. and we're just gonna dump the water. Dump it right here. Okay. Now we're gonna work on our other one. We're gonna do the same thing on our other one. And I'm gonna let her dump it this time. Okay, so now we're going to, don't do that. So I didn't notice these coals were here, and so I stepped on them. It could burn you through your shoe. Don't do that. Make sure you're aware of everything going on. So what she's gonna do is she's gonna get in there and she's gonna dry it out really, really good. Okay, then she would get another paper towel. Okay, she would put Crisco on the paper towel and she would line the whole Dutch oven with Crisco. Wants to go ahead and do it. Thank you for joining us today as we cooked on our Dutch ovens. Here are a few things to consider as you're cooking. So we want to make sure that if you have long hair, you want to put it up, wrap it up, put it into a ponytail. Also, make sure you have nice, loose clothing on. You don't want to put your Sunday best on out here while you're cooking. You want nice, loose clothing. Also, you want to have closed-toe shoes. You don't want to have open-toed shoes. There's things like this where you'll have coals on the ground if you had open-toe shoes. That would be very, very bad for your feet. Also, skirts.